Hello, good afternoon everyone. I am Generous B. Saboliano. Now I am going to tackle about rehearsing the speech. Have you ever given a speech that flopped because you didn't rehearse? Well, today I will talk about the importance of rehearsing and tips to make you shine as a speaker. But before anything else, what is rehearsal? So rehearsal is a practice or trial performance or a play or other work for a later public performance that usually to test or improve the interaction between several participating people or to allow technical adjustments with respect to staging to be done. In addition to that, rehearsal means to practice something, whether if it is a dance, singing, a speech, or a presentation of a research study, so that you can prepare in order to improve your performance and to make it more extraordinary. It can also boost self-confidence with proper posture and poise. During rehearsal, we have ample time to practice about what we are going to say, what we are going to do, how we are going to present ourselves in front of the audience, until we are satisfied and comfortable with our performance. Sometimes people like to rehearse in their head. Others rehearse like speak out loud and hear what they are saying. For me, I prefer to rehearse for my reports and other presentation by speaking out loud because that makes me comfortable and I can understand easily about my topic. Through speaking out loud, I can express my thoughts and emotion properly, where I can add diction and intonation of the words that I am going to emphasize that is the important details. And I can also add facial expression to make connection of what I say and for the audience to know if I am serious, joking, and convincing to them about what I am going to say or to talk about. But rehearsal is essential if a person wants to perfect a certain skill or talent because we all have the freedom to choose about the ways or methods that we are going to use in order to master our speech and performance in our own peace and comfort. Now, let's talk about the rehearsal checklist to make you shine as a speaker. First, rehearse few days before you deliver your speech so that you have the time to experiment, revise, to play, and to mold your speech. Then once you are satisfied about the crafted speech into a message you want, and now you can practice with all the parts in place to develop your own style and approach to delivery. Remember, practice does not make perfect if you continue to practice ineffective strategies. Therefore, you must experiment and learn from experience to improve the total speech and to make it more lively and interesting. Second, use the note sheets or cards in your delivery. Of course, you should know your topic and materials that you are going to present. You should not memorize it words by words, but understand your speech and topic because once you know your topic well, it will be easier to remember. And once you know your content, you appear more confident even if you are nervous. And once you're passionate about the topic, your enthusiasm will contagious and the audience will see and feel your excitement. And the sheets or the cards will only serve as a guide of the flow of the presentation. It contains a short details or a summary of your speech, the highlights and the important details that you need to present to avoid missing it. And the note cards can be index cards, 3 by 5 inch cards, where you can easily fit these cards in your pocket and then take them out when you arrive at the podium. And the audience should never see them. And make sure the cards are numbered in numerical order. This is very important because your cards will be sorted in the order in which you will be delivering your speech. Note, these sheet or cards serve as guides, so avoid looking it from time to time or reading it because it can distract the attention of the audience and make them feel that you are not prepared. Third, practice with the presentation aids that you'll be using for your delivery. The presentation aids can fulfill several functions. They serve to improve the audience understanding or the information you are conveying. It would also enhance audience memory and retention of the message, and add variety and interest to your speech and enhance your credibility as a speaker. And lastly, presentation aids can help the audience understand complex ideas or processes and can also show which ideas are most important in the speech. Fourth, time your speech and cut or expand if needed. You should consider the basics of timing, the amount of time it takes to deliver your speech, and when you're going to look at your visual aids such as the PowerPoint slides presentation and when you are going to look at your audience. And make sure to include all the important parts of the speech, such as quotes, examples, video clips, and the visual aids. To avoid run out of time, just include the most important content in your delivery. Rule to remember. Make sure you spend enough time on the beginning, middle, and at the end of the presentation, and not to spend a lot of time at the beginning and rush the rest of the end. Rehearse emphasizing the key points of the presentation, including gestures if appropriate. Fifth, rehearse with colleague or an audience if possible. Rehearse in front of a mirror if needed, and record a rehearsal speech so that you can get the real sense of what the audience will hear. So, ask one person to be your audience. It can be your mentor or a friend that you know who will give you honest feedback to listen and watch your rehearsal. And it is desirable to get the benefit of someone else's opinion. Practice in front of a mirror. In addition to hearing you speak, it is also important to see how others will see you. If you are going to use gestures during your speech, this is the time when you will notice how they will look at you as a presenter. You may find that you need to make adjustments, and your facial expressions if appropriate to the words you are using, and this makes very impressive in your speech. Next, record your speech. Recording your speech will serve many purposes. In addition to allowing you to hear your own voice exactly as it will be portrayed to an audience, it will also allow you to time the entire speech in distinct sections of the speech. If you need to make adjustments to the total length of the speech, analyze how long each section took and how many necessary adjustments. Now let's talk tips for a speaker. First, speak in a conversational style. Do not talk at your audience. Pretend that you are talking with your audience. Second, rehearse just a plan to present and if possible, in the same location that you will deliver your speech. Third, prepare for interruptions and questions. Make sure to leave room for a question and answer session at the end of your speech. Fourth, rehearse with your graphics and coordinate them with your talk. Fifth, display them only when you are during your final rehearsal. Make brief notes for yourself so you know how long each point in the speech takes. Then mark your outline accordingly so you know if you are spending too much time on any given point during delivery talking about them. 6. Time the individual parts and the total speech with a stopwatch and make sure to have a clock that you can see while speaking. 7. Make sure you record and listen to your speech after rehearsal and give feedback from friends or a coach. That will be all. Thank you and God bless.
Hi everyone, I am Wayne Rosie Tissue. So today, I will be discussing about rehearsing the speech and what is the importance of rehearsal. So let's start. The first one is when using presentation aids, rehearse them for timing and familiarity. So if you're going to use presentation aids in your speech, you need to rehearse it at home. With the help of rehearsing your speech, it will help you for timing and familiarity, of course. If you're nag-rehearse ka sa inyong balay, and then makamugna na ka, like makabuhat na ka og timing na kanus ka mo tan-aw sa imong presentation aids without the audience knowing na nagtan-aw na ka sa imong presentation aids as a guide, and it will help you to familiarize everything in your speech. The next one is time the speech. Time the speech is if you're given an amount of time to perform your speech. For example, you're given an hour to perform your speech. Of course, you need to rehearse your speech so that you'll be sure that you will be performed within the assigned time that's given to you. The third one is phrase the speech as you will phrase it in the actual delivery. So, og giunsa nimo pag rehearse imong speech, mao sa na imong buhaton ning actual delivering na sa imong speech para dili ka maglibog og makatabang nimo to familiarize your speech. Next is plan what to do with your hands. So you need to rehearse or plan of what to do with your hands to avoid inappropriate hand gestures to your audience, and to plan of what is the proper hand gestures in front of the crowd. Next is know exactly how your speech will begin and end. It's very important, all of us, to rehearse our speech, especially in the beginning and of course the end of our speech. So we need to rehearse of how should we begin our speech and how should our speech end it with power. So next is, in rehearsing the speech, memorize introduction accomplishes several goals. First is, it gives you the opportunity to breathe. Second, it lets the audience know you are prepared. The third one is, it signals to the audience that what you are about to say is important. And fourth is, it gives you the opportunity for direct eye contact. If we have speech introduction, we also have speech conclusion. So there are 3 rehearsing ways on how to have an effective conclusion of your speech. First is, the conclusion of your speech is equally important. As to what I am saying earlier, that you need to rehearse on how to end your speech or how you conclude your speech and how it will affect to your audience. The second one is, the end of a song or a scene is called a button. It is a tada moment that let the audience know you are finished. That's what I'm saying, that you need to end your speech with power, or like tada moment, and that's a time that the audience know that you are already finished and it's time for them to upload. The last one is a confident logical ending will be the effective in preserving a lasting impression on the audience. It is very important that we have an effective and preserving a lasting impression in the audience to know that you are well prepared on your speech. Next is, let's talk about the importance of rehearsal. First is, through rehearsal, you can apply your knowledge of public speaking, test out what works for you, and learn from the experience. Through rehearsal, it can help you to enhance your skills in public speaking, and it can help you to be prepared and ready to do your speech in actual delivery. The last one is, it allows you to practice different parts before you actually deliver the total speech for an audience. Because you are given a time to practice, you can adjust or add changes so that you will practice the different parts before you deliver your speech. So overall, rehearsal is very important, especially in public speaking, because it can help you to be more prepared and ready to deliver your speech in public. So that's it with my report. So thank you for listening and I hope you learned. Goodbye!
Delivering the speech. We are now in the stage to deliver our speech. You have heard or learned from our reporters about the steps or techniques on a preparation and practice, and now is how to deliver the speech. Delivering a speech needs a confidence to convey your target audience by standing up straight in a crowd with a proper posture and preparedness of yourself. You are now ready to deliver your speech. But before you deliver your speech, you have done this. Selecting a good topic, which is your main target of your speech, your audiences or listeners. You choose a good topic to serve on their ears and debates afterwards in their own conclusions. Another, you have researched the topic. This means that you do a further research to get the right information and be accountable of what you are saying. A good speaker must be reliable and accountable of its source. You must not create your own story. You must provide a right evidence that everyone should know from it, that you give a right information to them. You have organized the best information in a compelling way. You give a best information that is strong and has an evidences that serves as a proof and not created by hearsays. A strong or interesting information or topic you must provide that everyone would love and agree. You have rehearsed your speech. Before going upstage, you need to rehearse everything on what is in your speech so that you are well prepared and not forget those points you want to target. You have received a feedback on your rehearsal from an objective listener to share his thoughts on your speech, to change immediately, or to improve its finest to deliver a good speech. You have carefully constructed your notes and practiced them so that you have a guide on your speech, a points that is sequenced and intendedly for the topic only. You have planned and practiced your speech introduction and conclusion verbatim. So at the very beginning up to the end of your speech, everything will be smooth and sequential. You are getting the target, the points, ideas, and stands in the topic, so that listeners will be more interested to listen the speech you deliver, because at the beginning you show some interesting points that everyone would love to hear up until the end of your speech. You have checked out the room and equipment. You did something to reduce your stress before your speech. You did vocal warm-ups. You choose the perfect outfit to wear. You made sure your gum was discarded and your hair pulled back to look pleasing and insightful. You arrive at least 15 minutes before your speech. And lastly, you leapt to the podium with great enthusiasm when introduced. Those are the things you experience before getting up right to the stage to deliver your speech. Now that you are in the situation to deliver the speech to the audience, if you look up to the word deliver, you will find it means more than just to give. To give is a willingness to offer something without obligation or the expectation of something in return. To give also implies a predetermined responsibility. When you are in stage, give everything what you wanted to express. Touch the mind and heart of every listeners and audiences in the crowd. Give them a bright insights that can make them realize, adapt, and acknowledge. Give them the power to perceive things out of their zone. You must provide a strong conclusions, understanding, and empower them with your words of wisdom. This is how you deliver your speech. It is how you give an accountable and reliable information that everyone would believe and prove your points. This what makes other listeners will be interested of your next speeches because you provide them a silver lining in each topics or issues we have. You have a responsibility as a speaker to deliver information that will help your audience or enlighten them in some way. Here is now Ferlin Arong to teach us what are the steps for the effective delivery of speech.
So, good day everyone, I am Ferlin Arong. So today, I'm going to discuss about the steps for effective delivery.
First step is approach the podium as you rehearsed. A podium with built-in sound can help you gain instant authority. The mere act of waking up to the podium identifies you as the speaker and will let your audience know that the speech is about to start. Use your podium to hold notes that mark the important points you want to make in your speech. Rehearse with a colleague or an audience if possible. Second step is stand with confident posture. Message will inevitably be diluted by what your audience perceives as a lack of confidence. Stand up straight and keep your shoulders back. It helps you to feel calm and confident on the inside and look calm and confident on the outside. It demonstrates high status, meaning the audience feel you have something worth listening to. Third is deliver your brilliant opening. These are opening lines, certainly when you can engage an audience in a single sentence with something they relate to. For example, quotes, sayings, or etc. Fourth is realize you are a hit with the audience. Realize that people want you to succeed. Audience want you to be interesting, stimulating, informative, and entertaining. They are rooting for you. The fifth one is breathe. In order to support the voice, you need a constant, full breath of air through the entire sentence. So when you speak, practice exhaling slowly while speaking and letting your voice resonate with a full, supported sound. The sixth one is spontaneously interject a humorous observation related to your topic. Humorous interjections is one of the simplest ways to go from being a boring speaker to an engaging one. If you are able to successfully add humor to your speech, you'll be able to connect better with your audience. Take note. Use this when it is related to your topic. The last one is make all your points without hesitations. Minimize the us, ums, likes, and you knows. Just enunciate words clearly. Don't mumble or garble them. Just avoid monotony to make all your points without hesitations.